Well, good morning. Montana is actually the most extreme weather state. Sorry about all the other states. You just don't have what it takes. You just can't cut it. Montana has the most extreme spread between the highest temperature recorded and the lowest temperature recorded, which was 117 degrees recorded back in 1893 in Glendive, Montana, and minus 70 degrees on Rogers Pass. I can't remember if that's 1954 or 1972. I think it's 1954. That is 187 degrees swing between the highest recorded temperature and the lowest recorded temperature. But that's not all Montana is most extreme at. In fact, Montana holds a world record for weather, and I'll tell you that in a little bit. But right now, it's minus 38 degrees in Montana. Now, I can't walk around like this for very long in minus 38 degrees because I don't have anything on my ears, but I can it kind of holds the heat in underneath this hat. I want to see if my pickup will start. We have two vehicles over there in the front of the house that won't start. I'm wondering about this pickup. This is a diesel pickup. Now, ranchers usually put their vehicles in a heated shop and plug them in during this kind of weather. Very smart idea. If you have one of those, I don't. In fact, my 2010 Dodge diesel pickup right here doesn't even have a block heater, which means a place to plug it in. Oh, sorry, I broke a rib, so like lifting my arm up there is a little painful. So we're gonna see if this thing will start. It usually does, but I've never been in negative 38 degree weather. I've been in minus 40 or 50 degree wind chill, but never actual temperature. So let's see if it does it. Ow. Oh. I can't hold the camera up. Okay. Now what happens is at this cold a temperature, the oil is very solid. It's not as liquid, so it's really hard for the engine to turn through the oil. It's just like super heavy syrup. So you gotta have a big battery, a good cold cranking up battery to get this to work. Okay, so you guys ready? Here's the test. Absolutely nothing. Completely dead. It won't even turn it over just a little bit. Never been that cold where I couldn't turn this thing over. I have started this in 10 below and 15 below. It won't even attempt it at this temperature. Not even close. It's just one and nothing. That sucks. So we got three vehicles here, none of which will start. Let's try that one over there. All right, the only hope is this Toyota pickup right here. Nothing else will even begin to turn over, so we'll see if this does. Ow, ow, ow. Whew. Okay, I can't lean over like that. Piece of crap. So, just imagine this. This is what it was like in the winter of 1886 and 1887 when all the cattle died. Now there isn't even nothing. All the batteries are just completely frozen solid. So that doesn't help. I have to get my brother-in-law. He has a shop, a heated shop, so his vehicles are inside the shop. He's gonna have to come down and jump a couple things started for me. But in the winter of 1886, 1887, when like 50% of the cattle in Montana died, it was 60 below zero for like 10 days in January or February. And so just to think about, this is 38 below, no vehicles will start. Can you imagine 60 below zero for that long? how unbelievably difficult that was. And cowboys with not near the clothing that I have had to go out there and try to push these cattle back into where they were supposed to go. Just miserable. So coming from that terribly cold stuff when nothing would start to right now, which is probably 40 degrees out. My son and I are out here. I haven't recovered completely from my rib injury, but say hi, Heston.
Hello.
I haven't recovered completely from my injury, but I just wanted to show you how different it is out here. So Montana weather changes so quickly. You have like 2 weeks ago or a week ago, it was 38 below zero, and now it's 40 above, and that causes havoc with the animals, actually, because they deal better with somewhat of a constant temperature, and so do most of the ranchers. Ranchers would prefer it that it would stay like between 0 and 20, because everything kind of stays frozen, so you can drive on top of the snow and the ice and everything to go feed hay and all that. Once it starts melting like it does in the afternoons right now when it's 40 degrees, and this is December 30th or something?
December
something. Anyway, it's too warm, and so it gets sloppy and you start cutting into your pasture. You get stuck a lot because the snow that's wet is a lot harder to drive through than snow that's dry. Dry meaning it's so frozen that it's kind of fine and powdery, and when it gets wet it gets slushy and it just gets really, really slick. So Montana does hold a world record for how extreme its weather is, and that is that in 1972 the temperature went from minus 54 degrees below zero to 49 degrees above zero in the same day. That's 103 degrees difference in 24 hours, and that is a world record. So as I've said before, most of my experience with limited amount of cows of other people's, and then lots of horses. That's what my experience is. And my dad owns a horse leasing company, and so all these horses here, they get leased out to like guest ranches and outfitters and stuff in the summertime. And then in the wintertime, they come back here and get fed. That's what they do. So, but you can tell the weather has a huge effect on horses, but you got to be careful how you treat it. These horses here have so much winter hair. See, this is just a big old luxuriant coat of winter hair here. Yeah, this is the one that bucked me off right here. This is Calabar. Yeah, you broke my rib, buddy. Well, it's mostly me, but partly you. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. He doesn't show any remorse whatsoever. Anyway, they have these luxurious coats on them, and that keeps them warm in the wintertime. If you were to, you got to be careful like trying to overdo it for horses. If you keep them all indoors or you keep blanketed or something like that, a lot of times you're just interfering with their ability to grow that hair. You want them to feel the cold, to grow that hair so they can deal with the extreme cold weather. There's not much you can do for the fluctuation in weather. When it really goes super cold and then all the way back up to warm like it did now, that's hard on these horses, but they adjust to it fine. It just seems like they have a more difficult time with that as far as keeping weight on and everything than they do with just normal weather conditions when it's steady cold. Like it stays cold the whole time. All right, so I just wanted you guys to see a little bit about weather. If you have any questions about weather and how animals deal with it, like the ranching animals, cattle and horses, how they deal with it, let me know in the comments. Be happy to talk to you about it. Until next time, I'm Trinity Vandenacre. God bless. This is a big one here.
His name has to be Goliath.
No, it's Rambler.
Holy crap.
Yeah, he's a big old dude.
I was freaking out over here when you were over here. Look at how big he is. His head is.
And they ride him too.
What? So it's this.
Yeah, it's that much bigger than
come to this Palomino.
Another horse. Yep. Exactly. He's a mammoth sucker. Yep.
Oh,
and he knows it too, because he's
does.
always mean to their other horses. He just kind of pushes them around, don't you, buddy?
Oh, I want to ride him.
Now the breaking ribs is worse than I remembered. I had broken a rib before in the past, but this has been 3 weeks and it's just taken forever to heal, and it doesn't feel like it's even healed at all. I finally figured out how to lay down is you really pile up a whole bunch of blankets so it's really nice and soft, so you can kind of lay in a dish. That's the only way I can sleep very well, and you need a lot of sleep when you're doing this. So